Someone has tried to defend the view that the end of sex is procreation by saying that, well, maybe I've given a very good account of why sex is pleasurable, but why is sex pleasurable? Maybe sex is pleasurable only for the sake of procreation. Maybe it's a cunning of nature to make the act of reproduction so pleasurable so that we continue having children. Aha. Now, this objection or this reply misunderstands my argument completely. If you will observe my argument, I hardly talk about pleasure. My point is to show that sex is good because it's the fulfillment of a natural capacity. Because it's the fulfillment of a natural capacity, it's also pleasurable. That's a side effect. As Aristotle says, pleasure in itself is not an end, and it is not an activity. It is something that accompanies an activity that is performed, that is fulfilled. It is, I did not give an argument for why sex is pleasurable. I gave an argument for the end of sex, which is knowing, right? Knowing by touching. And knowledge is good in itself, not in the abstract, but for us, human beings who are knowers and who fulfill ourselves by knowing and by expanding our capacities as knowers, by becoming better knowers. And when we become more intimate knowers through sex, we become better knowers, and that is why it is good. And that something good isn't good in itself. If there is some agency that then uses this thing that's good in itself for other purposes, that says nothing about this activity. An activity that is good in itself is closed in itself and self-sufficient. It can have positive effects for other things, but those further ends don't explain that activity. And so even if there is some kind of cosmic engineer that's dying to make sure that the human race doesn't go away and therefore has implanted this sexual drive in everyone, it doesn't explain anything about sex itself. It's something entirely external to the case.